welcome. You've got me tonight because Josephine's been unwell for the last month, nothing too serious, but she's been at the hospital having a consultation for part today, and she's just feeling a bit under the weather, so she's going to miss out tonight. So you've got to put up with me. Sorry about that. So welcome. This is Crafty Crows, the online via Zoom edition of the Gloucestershire Poetry Society, and this is how it goes. So we're gonna kick off fairly quickly. As I say, we record. Yeah, we've got a full lineup which is in the chat. We've also got 7 people on the reserve list. So if we get to some of those, we will tick them off. If any of those don't get to read, we will carry them forward to June if they wish to take a place there. That's the way we're trying to do it. And I always hold about 2 or 3 places for the following month for people that haven't read here before. We have 3 here tonight, which is great. So we're going to kick off, and we're going to kick off rather than me reading a poem. I'm going to let Jason read one. So Jason's going to kick us off by reading a poem. Thank you, Jason.
Hi, everybody. This is called We Are Not to Be Tamed, and it was written in response to the sad death of Sarah Everard, but also the fear that people have walking the streets at night, and it's linked in with our right to peaceful protest in the UK being suppressed currently. And it is called We Are Not to Be Tamed. I bite my lip to stop the torrent of pent-up anger at inaction, ignorance and indifference, but I can only bite for so long before my lips bleed and my conscience rages out. Suppress me and I'll burst. I'll explode in defiance. Push me too far and I'll fight back. I'll stand up and be counted, for I can only be silenced temporarily. I can only be coerced until my growl must be heard. Do you honestly believe I will be compliant to your laws and your assault on me? Turn my cheek, not snarl when you ignore my cries, the basic fundamental needs of the pack? Should I stay silent to your training, your intentional scowls, the hurry to quash resistance, the fear of an uprising? You may pass as many rules as you may see fit, but you will never stop the power of repression to surge up and strike you down. You may pet us, but you don't deserve our trust. Our trust is what gave you power, and we can so easily take that away. Do not mistreat us, or you will hang by the lead. If not willingly, we will force you to yield and peel away our enforced obligations of blind obedience. Monsters lurk in plain sight as they prey upon fear. They grow strength from weakness and prowl our questions with sharp teeth and pinching claws. They maul us for pleasure and scold us in blame. Their shame is never tamed and their scorn is never worn. No, their savagery is a primal thing, an innate animal instinct to punish us, use their strength and overbearing size to dictate their will. You think that you are the top of the food chain, but you fail to understand that if our hunger is denied, our thirst for freedom unquenched, that we will stay on our place. Only a fool would keep the wolves at bay, would try to chain us in submission, starve us of love, allow us the freedom to roam, to feed. Your foolishness is clear and present, and we will represent your fears in a deafening din. We will win by sheer force alone. Of course, our course once set cannot be changed. You may throw us scraps, expect us to beg for mercy, or choke us with leads. We will not be trained to love thy master when our master starves us, beats us into submission, pulls us from instinct, makes us fight each other to break our bond, our bind of family. Be warned, for our bite is worse than our bark, and mark our words. If you cry wolf too many times, we will savage you. Bite the hand that feeds us with stale meat and keeps us confined in our oppressive kennels. Man's best friend is a myth, and we wish you were reckoning for our conditioning. We demand equality and nothing less will do. Deny us this and we will hound you to the ends of the earth, and for what it's worth, We never asked for your leash to be beneath you. You have tried to contain us, but we are not to be restrained, for our jaws are strong and our tongues wag when free. So don't mistake our barks for needing treats. We do not need your reward for doing your bidding, and we demand to be unleashed, to reclaim our streets, for it is our right to roam, to walk freely in the dark and follow our stars back home.
Thank you, Jason. Jason, who does all the technical stuff here tonight. So thank you. Right, we're going to move on swiftly to Margaret Royale.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here tonight. I'm going to read from my new poetry pamphlet that was officially launched last night. It's called Earth Magic, and it's poems walking through the seasons and the months. So I'm going to read two short ones. The first one, Autumn, is a found poem. Essence of winter sleep is on the night. Only lovers see the fall, bare ruined choirs where late the sweet birds sang, the thistledowns flying, though the winds are all still. Dwell in your pleasant places, hoard your gold, breathe on me your spicy scents that flow within your breeze, to let your shadow lengthen on the sundials. The cuckoo shouts all day at nothing. The leaves, frost-crisped, break from the trees and fall, yellow and black and pale and hectic red. I walked abroad heaven's muffled floor and saw the ruddy moon lean over a hedge like a red-faced farmer. What a difference 24 hours may bring. Shadowy fields that are scentless but full of singing. Nature's importance reflecting our own lives. And then the second one is a summer poem from the summer section about a place that I go to every year, but didn't last year because of lockdown, Iona in the Inner Hebrides, and it's entitled Return to Iona. Westering sun over the sound, pulse pounding in time with the waves, murmur of mermaid song washing over me, shivers slithering down my spine, not long to go now. Sun-suckled skies, soft sighing breezes, blue-grey of shoreline rocks suffused with sea-green kelp. Abbey walls rise to the right, simple yet stark. Ahead, the nunnery ruins. In the outer wall, a Sheelanigig, seamless fusion of Christian and pagan. Creativity will find expression here, my pen powering words across the page, pirouettes of spidery blue ink over milk-white parchment. See how these veiled visions vibrate in heady haze, harnessing the magic of each mystical moment on Columba's sacred isle. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Margaret Royale. Okay, moving on. I believe Chaucer Cameron isn't here at the moment, so we'll move straight on. Doc Janning, are you here? I can see him there.
Yes, I am here.
Thank you.
Okay. Crystal fields of morning. The sun, start again. The sun is sung into day with ario streaming hymn through crystal fields of morning, neath baldaquin arch of forever, to bell its song of brilliance on sacred magic journey after yearning night's last call to sky amid aeolian rainbows of wind. Cadence and melody of time resonates rhythms through infinity in echoing timeless harmonics on ageless galactic strings, in eternal music of the multiverse and serene soliloquy of song among dreamscapes of worlds and stars of everywhere and every when in the forever beyond forever. It reflects and refracts into infinity all the diurnal colors of light in diapasonic sensual resonance and acoustic dream paths of eternity. A song of light and warmth, a song of light and hope, a song of peace, amid infinite waltz of days on Starship Island, Earth. And the second poem, Invocations and Evocations. Sun rises singing into day, touch of morning, Reiki of the soul, dancing joyously amid chakras of the mind and daybreak of imagination. It resonates in chords of ageless Aeolian harp among oracles of the heart and rainbow embrace of all in silhouettes of life and light, love and time. Each is limed by the colors of winds between the stars in infinite evanescent moments and transcendent journeys of thoughts and dreams of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. They dance in eternal samsara of hope and joy amid all the eons of space and parsecs of eternity, an invocation of ancient future, an evocation of present past. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc. Okay, moving on to Halifax, Nova Scotia. We have a new reader. First, Crafty Crows, Anna Kwan. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
Thank you. Can I just remind everybody that the open mic should be a maximum of 3 minutes. You could do more than one poem, but they should not add up to more than 3 minutes, ideally. Thank you. Sorry, Anna. Carry on.
Okay. So this poem is called Empty Swimming Pool. It's from my chapbook called Body Parts. Empty swimming pool. I dreamed of crocodiles, the kind that eat humans, swimming in your turquoise pool. It's empty now, faded with a few patched cracks and dry leaves shuffled by the wind like a poor man's tarot. They are brown and brittle as though the crocodiles shrank and dried to rattles. The wind shamans shake them half-heartedly in the basement of summer. A final tepid divination. The wind stirs the dregs of lawn clippings. There is nothing left between us. The empty swimming pool glows the color of blue moon chalk.
Thank you.
First one. I have one more. And this one is from my website. It's a bit of a political poem. It's called Nazis at Home. They've been marching in their skins pale uniforms, gleaming like boot black in the torchlight. At home they plop in their easy chairs, footsore and weary, and untie their bitter laces. Soon they'll hold their cheek against the dark, not waiting for kisses, but for the warm breath that tells them there's life. Because their fear winds around their sleeping children, heavy as blackbone, and they cannot hear the heartbeat of their young above their own, or distinguish them from the tender camouflage of shadow in the black-skinned arms of night. Thanks.
Thank you. Go on. Halifax, Nova Scotia. Thank you. Okay, moving on. Rose Leonard.
Can I just say, Anna, when you was reading, when you turned your head, it was a bit distorted. When you came back, it was more clearer. Just for the beautiful poetry, though.
The image was on the wrong side, away from the mic, I think. Yeah, but I didn't want to interrupt. So carry on. So Rose Leonard, please.
Thanks. Would it be possible to stop recording? Because I would like to submit these for publication. Is that possible?
Yeah. Not yet.
Thank you.
Somebody's put Pan Agriculture Limited. Tish, yeah.
It's real. I didn't make it up.
No, it's brilliant.
And it's really called Paradise. God.
Okay, next up we have Agatha Palmer, please.
Good evening. I've got two very short poems. I promise it's under 3 minutes. Could I be, it's okay to record the first one is from my little pamphlet, From the Land of Marmite with Love, but then pause on the second one, if that's okay.
Can you make sure you say, can ask us?
Thank you. I will, thank you. And it kind of follows, it made me think, Jason's poem made me think about experience of women and how zero tolerance of domestic violence doesn't always play out well. Acquitted. The same eyes, the blueness of forget-me-nots, once trustworthy, now a metallic challenge. The same hands that steadied me, that caressed our baby's hairy back, now circle my neck, pressing terror into my throbbing artery. Our toddler watching and shouting, "Stop fighting," the echo bouncing around the terracotta bedroom. He has my mouth. The same lips that colonized the wilderness of our shared passions, now lying under oath. And now if you could pause.
So next up we have Gerald Kells, please.
Thank you. I'm going to do a poem called DVLA. And for those not from the UK, the DVLA is the Driver Vehicle Licence Authority. If you have a car, they license it. It also refers to HMRC, Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, which is the equivalent of the IRS, the tax people. The DVLA emailed me to say that the payment I'd made has failed, which is odd because I don't have a car. Perhaps they mistook me for the man from Amazon Prime who keeps reminding me that my non-existent account has been compromised, or the HMRC woman who sends me messages that I'm owed a refund. They'll all own cars, big cars by the sound of it. The guy from the bank must. I mean, it turns out that it isn't cheap keeping my bank account secure. And the young lady from Microsoft, who is really from Microsoft, and has noticed a problem with my computer, which she wants to help me sort out. It might have been put there by the BT engineer, or the talk assistant, or the messenger from Sky. His name is Icarus, and his wings are burning, who each inform me in a different kind of way that I need to have my internet checked, and if they can't fix it, they'll give me a refund when I just send them my bank details, PIN code included. I would, but my brother and sister and uncle and father, who's dead, and a cousin I didn't know I had called Michael, and 3 friends and their dog are all stuck in Islamabad or Istanbul or Chile. They are either very ill or have had their wallets stolen or are kidnapped and need me immediately to send them cash. I would, but I've met this guy called Romeo, who is dead hunky and sent me a picture and everything, and he's deeply in love with me. and wants to meet me. But at the moment he's living in Rotterdam and he's struggling to make ends meet, so he can't afford the airfare. And to start with, and to cut a long story short, he just needs £100, which is the only money he'll ever ask from me, which is the only money I can give him until the prince from Nigeria transfers $1 million to my account based on the handling fee he's requested me to pay him to help with a business deal in minerals, which, as we all know, are very lucrative and slightly hush hush. I mean, it's all very well, but sometimes I just hanker for the halcyon days when the only enjoyment to be had in the world was slamming the door on unwanted salesmen or over-eager preachers so they smiled and went away, unlike the fake DVLA. DVLA. Thank you very much.
Marvelous. Thank you, Gerald. That was excellent.
Sadly, on the news, there was a woman who was conned out of very large amounts of money. So I do it humorously, but don't give it. Don't, you know? It is a serious subject.
There's a very serious message there. Yes, and yeah, maybe when you do it with humor, people listen. That's good. Yeah. Okay. Well. Just unmute yourself for a second, please, and give a big hand to the open mics from the first half, please.
Yay!
Well done, everyone.
Okay, so we come to the first highlight of the evening, and we have the wonderful Tish Camp here. Tish Camp, sorry, Tish. Oh dear, it's not like I don't know your name, is it? Tish Camp, a London-born Trinidadian Irish feminist, published poet, artist, and theatre maker. She performs internationally and consciously. She is lipstick, boots, politic, and verse. She developed and devised poetry and forum theatre and experimental poetry through Rise Up Theatre and at the Poet Mouth, dealing with racism, censorship, and oppression, and her latest work with the Poets Live, a live platform for all things poetry. She sent me a very long file, and I'm going to post it, the whole thing. Trish is published in the Gloucestershire Poetry Society anthologies 2018 to 20 by Paper Nations UK, and both online and in film for Touching Carpaccio via the Great Margin. Poetry collaborations include work with UK groups and US publisher I Publish Ewe, collaborations with Say It Louder, I Publish Ewe, and Stroud Against Racism and Outrage Against Racism, and an anthology of the same name. She's been featuring at UK and international poetry events, Write and Release, Raise Voices, UN Stand Up Against Racism with the Live Poet Society, Itch It Out Glasgow, They Call Me Mitch, San Francisco, and in April at San Francisco's longest running poetry venue, Sacred Grounds. Yay for Zoom, eh? Otherwise you built up a lot of air miles. Okay, I'll post the rest in the chat. So ladies and gentlemen, and whatever you would like to call yourself, because all are welcome to Crafty Crows, I give you the wonderful Tish Camp.
Thank you. Oh, bless you, Peter. I really appreciate that. And I wanted to add also, you know, the Cockneys, or London, but Cockney as well. And widowed, I didn't put that in the bio, but I'm widowed, coming back through poetry, through some of this widow poetry, grief and bereavement writing. A few moments of mention of that in my set here. But I'm coming through to find who else I might be other than a widow in my work. And clearly political. This is comedy, however. So this is called Fibroid Rave. 3 took up residence, Big Harry, Joe and Titch, claiming space in this womb, their party chill-out room. They had rights, they said, setting up roots, bloodlines, firmly embedded foundations, local connections. I listened. We took notes, one on the other, grounded in womb mother, that nothing could terminate. I am subjugation in fibroid embolization. They have gone vegan. The blood walls, washed floors, skirts and handprint doors, regular coats of thick paint. I am heady, faint and rant. I dig these guys, right? But want to decant. The big boss talk of tearing it down, but doctor says they'll reduce while sizing me up and offers me out. I'm hysterical hyster. I somehow cut off the vital supply. Harry turned electrician, puts feelers out, and very soon we're back to party time. Angiogenesis turns up at dawn in this age of Aquarius. I'm howling at blood moons for it all to grow quiet. 5 years more, they do in time, and bloodlet these boys like it's 1999. We get along now. We got cool in old age. I'm not wanting eviction, nor a fibroid rave. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's comedy, but it's serious. Okay, here's another comedy one. Can you buy my book? Oh, thank you. That's great. I'm hardly able to salivate. Stood there at the mic, trying ever so hard to smile and give them a wink at the bar. Did you have a look? Oh, would you buy my... Oh, wonderful. Another tweet done. I'll sign it. Come on, here's another one for your mum. It's delicious. It makes you feel sexy at night. It's for women. You'll grow bigger breasts. Yeah, that's right. It's a magical book now. Just for the men, cockily inching 8, 9 or 10. It can save a hard marriage, less flagging in bed. Stop looking down there. Did you hear what I said? I'm giving it over, placed on your knee. Now come buy my book from Marketing Me. Of course it's a steal. It's only 12 quid. There's a voucher for blowjobs for free to get rid. There's also a clause in print on the back that says you'll be reading alone in the sack. Upon this here purchase, I hereby decree there's no further contact from fuckable me. Thank you. It's a bit naughty. It's a bit naughty. Okay, I'm going into something else now. This is called They Stood Still. A whirlwind pulled their arms from their sides. Lovers try to hold tight. In centrifugal pull, deeply look at mouthing fears. Mountain climb their loose hands, grab rope in falls. Each reach for strands of glittery, fragile webs, wet dew shining in post-storm eyes. Spider wounds, punctured skin, wrapped in silk, they are close. Bite of death, tearing teeth to free, offer to release the other, soothing, licking, crying lakes of pain, floating across horizon into night and return to hold whirlpools, winds and night. Thank you. This is for my late husband. This is called Inflection. His inflection, joy in a boy, giving hope to the burnt dinner of his return, forgiving in his like it crispy allowances of a husband and a not so perfect wife. His key in the door, I'm home. Mantra in my widow heart, on repeat, since this hopeful jangle remains in my watch. Listen for his wind chime spirit. His resonance, bass of bass inside my head, reverberate off walls, softer hello, wrapped in muffled bed sheets. His laugh that came with eyes, paired in chorus that my ears received. What I saw gave my call response. His warm inflection, his voice I hear and save in me.
Nice.
This is a recent poem. This is called Water Warm. He fights back tears and moves the alignment in his chest. Offering the broken side to be seen, she positions her shadow into and over this until it has no place but dark. Dark carries him into the room and lays him on the bed. Dark asks if he can feel that. The answer is mumbled, pitiful. She asks if Dark has finished now and rides her crescent wave in sun. White is loud in its crash around him, drowns him. She is saving a hand, a leg, a foot, but his chest is still misaligned, marginalized. Breathing, beating rise and fall, the up and down of inner worlds, outer depths. All the water is warm in eyes and body and tears. Thank you. This next one I wrote about half an hour ago.
Wow.
Called Everything is Bread. Everything is bread in the serving of, cutting and slicing, buttering up, a cheese and pickle overlay, yeah, if not turned up corners or nose, not needing to need laws that pretzel us into dough, tough scraps, knob ends and heads. Lying in lockdown, marching in distancing strides, masking us in killing bills, shackled in ovens, Trinity tied into kitchens, one fallen, one sunk, one day. Everything is hard, thrown crumbs, angelic night, blown seeds on wholesome brown, playing in flour, white mushroom clouds, baking up, taking down, tea toweling over the swell, the best, the worst, the least, we are yeast inside. Everything is burned, turned, twist in constitution, plaited wheaten sheaf, relinquish the rise. Thank you.
I like that at the end, relinquish the rise.
Next one is called Stand Down. Stand down in your efforts to silence me. I am 1,000 black voices. Stand down in your wanting me dead. I am a warrior. I am firm in my thighs. I am metamorphic. I am black rivers. My mouth a guillotine. Stand down in your disgust. I am black Sheba. Make me Makeda. I am demanding your rebuke. I am defiantly stood. You are and will be shook until all hate in your racism pockets falls to ground. Scarabs will come to feast on this. Stand down, get down from this table that I break with my hand. My amulet gauntlet is worn, not thrown at feet. The battle is already won in my voice, my skin, my kin. I am the bearer of truths. You're exposed and power white and wrong, while I am the black hurricane. Thank you.
Wow.
This is
You're right.
yeah. So, this is Stand Up. I stand up to you and measure myself as if a child in height, big brother, kin, looking down on my skin. But we're the same, born in the same street. Stereotype sounding like race in a race. Now we compete. Shot is fired, hurdled over obstacles to be placed in Hackney's murder mile, while you're already at the white finish line, claiming white men's prize. At school, I was the boy you ostracized, unless I made you laugh or sold you weed or dumbed down to make you feel all right in your eye. Speak like me, repeat. Teachers marked you up, me in black ink, as if cracks on milk glass outside, scattered around your purity, perfection, supreme inflection. I grow down, not up, into quieter man. You're fat and loud, fed your lies about me, gorging on the cut me to the bone, beef to your thinly sliced ham. Racism, old man, on a street we meet. I see you married well. Kids in uni as your bank account swells. Me? Yeah, I'm doing okay. Mustn't grumble. I'm in your shadow, so I'm playing humble. But yeah, we had a race where I can't win or speak, where you prosper the lives of whites, where black men are meek and serving and smiling and dancing or dead. Irie at Babylon licks, Rastafari and I are noting this, quoting this, showing this. I am teaching this and relieving myself of this piss, this shit, and place it in your mouth. Thank you.
Ooh.
Thank you. This next one is for my late sister. She was a very big influence on me. She was 26, studying law, psychology, and she took her life at 26. She was a Rastafarian, Nubian queen. You begin in the title of a book, Protector and Black Panther. You roam across wastelands of Elephant and Castle, defied monsters there and beat down doors. You were natural, fierce even with freckles, and had philosophy spill like petals from your lips. Your books, jewels, knowledge of kings besetting the crown of a Nubian queen. Othello is your Moorish Moor on your sunken velvet horsehair chair, skin preened and oil shining sage lights on each, every hair sat firmly like your seat in pause. My pride at your mouth open, eyes widen at pupils core, absorbing his hand-neck drama, Desdemona death and tears in mine at hers and yours. The rope, imagined scarf upon your neck, a storyline of flighting winds, the stage, the act, the scene. Black skin, freckle count on face. I recant like desert sand through fingers of disbelief into time returned of love for a Nubian queen. Black Panther, sister, sleep.
Ooh.
And I think this is my last one. It's called Soft. I am soft. I am withered of razor, wired hairs down on my arms. I am unwrapped from bonds, twine jagged, crossed like pain, untamed horse mane in this disrobe. I am unheld, I yield. Between eyes there are lines, furrowed pain etched into makeup scribe. Eyes in dark coal weep the years, black and shadow pink. Lips, mouth, love and taught in lessons teach. The overreach, find me, head to my belly. Hear me, I am here, I am soft. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Can everybody please unmute themselves, and can we give a hand for Tish Camp? I think some of that was quite painful, and the emotion came across. So thank you very much, and a big hand please for Tish Camp.
Bravo, Tish. Bravo, bravo, Tish. Bravo.
Excellent. Wow. What an end to the first half. Wow. So we're going to take a quick break now. And if we can come back about 8:05, then we might just be able to squeeze a couple of people in off of the reserve list. So I will message a couple of people during the break. And so 8:05, please. Okay. Thank you very much. Please. And can we welcome Juanita Rea to the microphone, please?
Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm reading a poem that was recently published in an online magazine. Well, it's a collection of pandemic experiences. I'll share the link in a sec because it's open for submission. Unmasking. I confess, I like to wear these masks. I like it in the same way that I liked wearing trousers under my school dress as the Muslim girls had to do when I was in high school in South Africa. I like it in the same way that I liked wearing clothes that covered my arms and legs like the women had to do when I taught at the school in Sudan. I mostly like it in the same way that I liked wearing my hair over my face as a teenager, shielding it from view so that they would not see what I was thinking, what I was feeling. I confess, I like to wear these masks. I like the way they clothe the nakedness of my emotions. I know that these masks are meant to minimize the risk of transmission and contagion, yet there is a different kind of safety that I relish behind my mask. Anonymity and a cocoon inside which emotion can dance upon my face without needing to wear the mask of social acceptance with a face that hides secrets away from its own heart. I don't know how to wear that mask. I don't think I want to know. I confess, I like to wear these masks, yet I am hoping that by the time the mask wearing is no longer needed, that I may be more comfortable with my non-masked face. The face that wears my thoughts and emotions, my hurt and hopes with fear. Fear that somehow unmasks courage. All truths unmasked.
Thank you, Anita. Oh, nice. Good opening to, nice, what a word. I keep saying nice lately, and it's not the right word. Sorry, Juanita, that's a strong statement. Thank you very much. A nice, a good way to open the second half. Shout at me every time I say nice, please. Okay, next up we have Trevor Valentine, who's going to give us something extraordinary.
Yay!
Thanks, Tish.
Hello, Trevor.
Are you all right? That was a fantastic set. I was there with you emotionally. It was wonderful. Anyway, a couple of poems already tonight, quite a few actually, about oppression, and this is my take on oppression. And the analogy is that you've got a pendulum, and the pendulum seems to be lopsided against one side of the bell, and you never get to hear the other side of the bell unless one day or thousands of days people through activism manage to push the bell over so that you can hear the other side of the bell. So here we go. The bell. The hammer struck weakly against the lopsided bell, able to reach one side only. Cobweb upon cobweb, on a worn-out slipper, muted self-interest, dulled its call, its hinge lubricated by a lifetime of tears. Another clang, another shackle, every insult enraging, each dull repeating clang, the whip cracked, bringing broken bones, asphyxiation, its neck pinned down, humanity unable to breathe. The hands clamour under the glass ceiling, writhing, stifled, suppressed, as if to reach the bell and set it straight. But they stare through, inert and ghost-like, with more and more eyes and more hands. In the comfort of a dream, one hand reached out, and then another, until all fists unclenched, flat against the bell. Rise then every hand and level each and every bell. We have that dream. For whom does the bell toll? If you do not listen, it will toll for thee.
Oh.
The bell. Thank you.
Yeah, I like the way that in the future somebody's going to hear the other side of the bell.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay, thank you. Big hand for Trevor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, good job.
Yeah. Now, I don't know how to introduce what's coming next because I have no idea what's coming next. I'm not going to even try. I'm just going to say Clive Oseman.
Hello. Right. And now for something completely different, as they used to say on a certain TV programme. Oops, hang on a minute, that didn't work. That's a good start, isn't it?
This is probably part of the act, by the way.
Say again?
This is probably part of it.
No, don't be silly, as if it would be.
Hello. My name is Auntie Ethel's pet rabbit. I'm not sure what my real name is. I'm doing a very poor impersonation of a duck because, well, I can, so why not? I'm not sure impersonating is the right word for a duck though. It's not a person, is it? Never mind. I'm being paid lots of lettuce to introduce Clive Oseman's latest so-called poem. He claims the aim is to blend the poetic mastery of Shakespeare with the comic genius of a Robert Garman on acid. Let me tell you, he's failed miserably on both counts. But humour him, laugh in all the right places. If you can work out what the right places are, there's no guarantee. He is a sensitive soul and has the temper of a ginger bow end. I value my ears, if you know what I mean. Okay, enjoy. And please, 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 laugh.
Okay, so this is called Don't Tell Me How to Write Poetry Because I'm Off My Rocker. Listen, I don't know what you're expecting tonight, but you know my head is not quite right and I'm going to write a load of shite, but if you tell me that, get ready to fight, because I'm a vicious bastard when I lose it. They suggested anger management, but I refused it. Anyway, that's full of rhyme and that. And we all know rhyme is a bit old hat, even the cat. Modern audiences like something more sophisticated, with the meaning disguised and pixelated, straightforward expression asphyxiated. Oh, fuck! I can't help myself, can I? I really do try. Ah! I did it again, as Brittany said way back when. Stop it! Stop it, you moron! Stop rhyming and write something obscure. You can do it for sure. For fuck's sake, man. There must be a cure. A slap in the face. That might work. The moon rotates like a hippo in the washing machine on a 30-degree cycle. I hope he doesn't shrink. I've only got the one. Pink carnations spring down his nostrils like shafts of light in a dark, dank basement. The alluring aroma of coffee drifts into the far corners of the universe, reviving the stars as they begin to droop like a drunkard's todger. You're all misunderstanding this. The meaning is deeper than a Marks and Spencer's luxury mince pie with the bottom cut out, like the tongues of mine enemies. It's there, if you look for it, like God or bedbugs. Bet you wish I'd stuck to rhyme now. I knew you would somehow, even though it's pretty lowbrow. Ciao. Thank you very much.
You never know when you're going to get with Clive. Excellent. I love it. I like the anticipation. It's something to savor. Okay. So next we have another new one, new person. No, we haven't. Sorry, I'm getting confused, getting ahead of myself. Sorry. The next person up is Becky Who.
Hi guys. When I saw I was going to have to follow Clive, I kind of changed what I was going to do. I don't know. I've got a choice. Do you want a poem about Brexit or a poem about cake? Any preferences?
Cake.
Cake.
Poem about cake. Okay, cake wins. Okay, here goes then.
Cake.
Cake wins. This poem is called International Bake Off. Britain 1, France 0. And it's very silly. Here goes. The French are really rather rude when talking about British food. They cannot help but be quite mean when it comes to tasting our cuisine. They mock our beef with roasted spuds, our gravy-soaking Yorkshire puds, swear vinegar on fish and chips would never make it past their lips. They claim the British high cream tea can't match French haute pâtisserie. In the kitchen, we can't expect the French to show us much respect. So when I'm invited to a fete, I cook up something they won't forget. The culinary offensive I will take. My weapon is lemon drizzle cake. These French folk seem to love the stuff. They simply cannot get enough. They'll eat 4 pieces without stopping and rave about the crunchy topping. My lemon cake's known far and wide. It fills me up with British pride. Every party they'll ask me to translate the recipe. I'm waiting for the call one day from Paris and the Élysée, requesting my gâteau au citron for the tea time of President Macron. My great secret when I bake is Mary Berry's foolproof cakes. No one believes me when I say it's gâteau pour les nuls en français. If you ever want to make a start on cracking open a Gallic heart, Mary Berry holds the key with her simple recipe. The cake to conquer the French nation, or at least sort Anglo-French relations. Lemon drizzle has the power over the land of the Eiffel Tower. Thank you. Sorry.
Wow, thank you, Becky. Okay, so we come to the first of 2 new people at Crafty Crows. Seher Hashmi describes herself as a pretty prosaic poet, spoken word artist, a reluctant satirist, a disciple of Verbillion, living in Bahrain as an expat of Pakistani origin. Her anthology of free verse poems titled Othered is coming out soon. I don't normally do introductions for open mics, but this one was sent to me, so I thought I'd read it. So I'd like to give you Seher Hashmi. I think she's still here. She was here.
Yeah, I'm here. Thanks a lot for having me and introducing me as well. I'm going to share a poem with you that I wrote a while back, and it's written to show my support and solidarity for my body, my choice. It's titled Last Laugh. On this bleak horizon, there one day will descend a day, a crisp, crackling, brand new flamewood day, reddish orange, sun on fire, outback ablaze day. Its singeing hues bleeding fast all over, staining many skyscrapers. You will wake up startled, jolted out of your long-haul, junkie sedated slumber. With a crazy, screechy scream decimating your conceited peace to mere rubbles, she will stagger up to you. Yes, one you're bonded in blood, tripping over, not knowing how to take next step. Bare, exposed in tattered shirt, open, ugly display of a beggar's wound that hurts eyesore, rags of shame, clutching on to the last shreds of whatever is left of her self-respect, her existence of a second-rate, lowest cadet not meant to take up arms, vent out anger, put up fights, presence. Yes, she is one you're supposed to honor. Stay so the ancestral baggage you always carried with pride. Heirloom infested now with termite. Bewildered, wailing of a horror that can't be worded, let alone be mouthed. And you, with all that macho might, millions in bank by your side, circles of sycophants, bands of gossipy friends, designations to impress, villas, palacios, farmhouses with no end, fields with yields enough to feed armies of superpower nations will barely be able to stand on your 2 wobbly feet, while her shattered look tugs away earth underneath. A spectacle of living death you will make for yourself, and I will stand apart from that scorching heat of a dishonor you'll be consumed in, and will laugh the loudest, ear-splitting, roaring cackle of its own kind. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. Hope you come again. Okay, we move swiftly on to another new person. I don't know that much about you, Rachel, because I think you had a conversation with Josephine to arrive here. So all I know is your name is Rachel Brown. Perhaps you'd like to introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I've really enjoyed tonight. Some really great stuff. Very, very high standard. Yeah, I'm currently on a farm, so apologies if you can hear the JCB in the back digging away. Yeah, I'm a postgrad.
Oh no.
Just writing in my spare time, and yeah, this one I have written is part of a collection on memory. It hasn't been published yet, so if it's possible not to be recorded, that'd be really great. If it's
still Jason. Jason, thank you. The Beanie Bard.
The one I'm going to read tonight, I have literally never read out loud, not even at home, so could be interesting.
Go for it.
It's called Fibre at Midnight. Mind fuck, I'm burning up. In my skin, the knives cleave bone, and I'm alone in torture, stubborn resoluteness wearing thin. There's no cure for this pain I'm in. I'm begging for release, but it will not cease. It never stills until my mind is filled, and in a ball I'm curled. Surrender flag unfurled and waved, but never saved nor given respite. Knees locked tight, I stretch, they kick, but I'm not sick, am I? My pain a lie, you claim, and lay the blame straight at my door as the envelope drops through the slot onto the floor. Denied. Tried and found wanting. And so the humiliation for naught, mind and body weary from another day fought. As I'm degraded, my privacy laid bare, on me the burden of proof for a system that doesn't care, that never sees me, just a tick, pen clicks, marking a box, she slots me in neatly and promptly forgets me. As I exist in a society of disbelief, stigma the thief of respect as they deflect my words and they go unheard. I'm a bird with bent feathers, and whether able or not, I've got to fly, to try till I break, because they forsake me and say it's in my head. That phrase I've come to dread, that invalidates the pain, the brain fog and weariness, false cheeriness as nerves fire, neurons set my arms on fire. My body torments me. I'm never free, my psyche broken. My brain has spoken its words both unheard and unseen. Skin tinged green and waxen pale as I fail at everyday life, my shame cutting like a knife. An unstoppable force till I'm hoarse from the screaming in my head. Despair tightly tethered by the pain I have weathered, with no end in sight and all my fight gone. Totally alone, I bow my head in surrender, but no end comes. Alone in the dark with the pain, no end comes. That's it, thank you.
Thank you, Annalise. Michael Sindler, are you there? Might have disappeared off into his somewhere else. Obviously not. Okay. Simon Aldwick, are you here?
Yeah, I am here, yeah.
You want to squeeze one in, Simon?
I can squeeze one in, yeah, why not? Yeah.
Sorry to jump on you like that.
It's all right. It's all right. It's a pleasure to read for you guys. This one is called Still Life. It was published in Dust Poetry, I think last year. I've got another one published later this month. This is called Still Life. Start with the eyes. The eyes are where you will see. You'll see he's just as living as you and me. You'll see he's wise with a wicked sense of humor. If you're just looking at him, you might think he's strong and powerful. But if you grip his arms, you'll see there's nothing there. His strength is not physical. It's pure willpower. But if you really want to know him, watch him with my daughter. Pure love he has for us, although his heart don't beat. Thanks.
Thank you. Short and sweet. Okay, we come to our last open mic of the evening. I'd like to call Laura Greville, please.
Thank you. This is called The Tiger is Back. City girls can do anything, my grandmother said, in the 60s into the 90s. But we moved to the country, where women baked pies, held babies, trained horses, found what we thought was the past, this violent, scrubby land where Comanches and Panthers once roamed, where our neighbors stole livestock, preyed, and vilified cities. This violent, scrubby land that hosted post-Civil War a gang called the Gentlemen's Club. Terrorists who murdered for land, burned houses, sniped little boys off mules. Their leader, the Tiger, known but not caught, though the FBI intervened. The turn of one century, blacks thrown out of jobs, whites wanted, thrown out of town. The turn of the next century, and this violent, scrubby land waited, claws out. Waited, watching to report our liberal ways, to punish us as 16 Hispanics walked heads down into the Catholic Church, whispered, "Learn humility." Waited for the future to emerge as the Proud Boys, the Oath Takers, the QAnon seeped up from dried up creek bottoms, slithered out of massacred settlers' graves, raised up from used up cotton fields, hatched from spittle of tiger, from blood of tiger's prey, stood, smirked, strutted. Baseball bat in hand, coon cap on head. As snow began to fall, they formed a snowman, cinched a red tie round his neck to make America great again. Scaled the Capitol walls, grabbed a flag, ran through the legislative chambers, danced, hooted, peed on Pelosi's desk, smiled for the photographer, scraped the dirt of Mills County, Texas, from their fingernails, left the trailings on Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell's Bible, and bellowed, "For Daddy and Mama, for my wild rose of pecan bayou, I ride this range, I crow. I got you by the tip, America, against a rock, down in the dust, dust of my birth." Thank you.
Woo woo! Yeah, go.
Laura Greville. Okay, now we come to the last moments of the evening. I'll just do a couple of quick notices before we move on to Jemma Hathaway. So the next Crafty Crows is Wednesday, 2nd of June, 7 till 9 as usual, and will feature Z.D. Dix and Jason Conway will be doing a 10-minute set as well. So that's on the 2nd of June. And just a forerunner of Wednesday, 7th of July, Charlotte, Emily Ann Lunn, and Simon Alderwick, who you heard just a few moments ago. So that's in July, and more will be coming in due course. So I first saw Jemma Hathaway last year as part of the Beehive national online slam competitions, where she was a finalist, I believe. So here we go. Jemma Hathaway likes to put words together next to one another and see if they hit it off. She is passionate about all things poetry and has performed at various spoken word events around Bristol, UK. Her poems are featured on BBC Radio Bristol, and she was a finalist in the Bristol Lyra Poetry Festival Slam 2020. She is editorial board member of Blood Moon Poetry. She was runner-up in the Beehive UK Online Slam Championship 2020 and is the current Hammer and Tongue Slam Champion for Bristol. Jemma has recently self-published her first pamphlet, January, a collection of poems written daily during lockdown in January 21, which you can find on Amazon. Welcome, Jemma Hathaway. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay? I keep getting bandwidth messages coming up, so hopefully you can hear me all right, but let me know if there are any problems with the connection. Hopefully it'll be okay. But thank you so much for having me. This is actually my first time at Crafty Crows, so it's really exciting for me, and I'm just blown away with all the poetry tonight. It's been amazing, and Tish, your set was just incredible. Just so raw and powerful. It was honestly amazing. So I actually decided to do something a bit different this evening than what I usually perform, and perform almost all pieces I haven't read before from my recent pamphlet. But I'm going to start with one older poem that I wrote maybe about just over a year ago. I performed it a few times before, and I write quite a bit about sort of identity. So this one just hopefully gives you an insight and a flavour into me, really. It's called Things I Should Have Said That I Thought I Had to Hide. I was a kid, I always wanted to be a star. Maybe it's because I quietly identify with the darkness. I love the early morning because it's full of promise, and I hate late afternoon because that's when I realize I've broken most of the ones I made to myself. There are bits of my body I want to change. I wish my skin was thicker, my stomach was flatter, and my tolerance was fatter. I like my arms because they stick by my side, and I trust my skin because it always has my back. I'm bilingual. As well as English, I'm fluent in apologizing for things that aren't my fault. I say sorry too often, and I don't say no enough. I feel low when I remember how much I used to get high. I don't like egos that are big and people who say that size matters. When people ask me my favorite color, I don't always know the answer. Sometimes even the simplest questions make me question myself. I feel a kinship with flamingos since we both spend so much time standing on one leg because I often have my other foot in my mouth. But if I had to choose the animal I most closely resemble, the zebra, because I know how it feels to have other people decide if I'm more black or more white. Often I drink alcohol-free beer and eat sugar-free biscuits because I'm trying to be better at doing bad things. I dance a lot, mainly around the kitchen, sometimes around subjects. Every time I sprint in the sunshine, I try to outrun my rain clouds. I don't really know how it feels to be phobic, but I do know how to be a contortionist. Being mixed race and gay and a woman means I had to get comfortable being in a really small space a long time ago. My oldest friend is one of those mates you've had forever and you don't really have much in common with anymore, but you've been through too much together to let go now. My oldest friend's name is Fear. And she still has that annoying habit of popping round without checking first. I know the camera doesn't lie. But sometimes when I smile, it bends the truth the way the lens bends the light. If poems were Polaroids, I would stick this one up on my fridge to remind myself there's always work to do. But I promise, if you take the time to get to know me, it turns out I'm actually fucking awesome. Thank you. So I hadn't actually looked at that poem for months until earlier today, and I've probably developed a few new flaws in the last year, so I might have to write an updated version of that one now. But the rest of my set this evening is actually taken from the pamphlet that I self-published a couple of months ago. Peter mentioned it there. It's called January, and it's a collection of poems that I basically wrote daily throughout January this year. And since on the 4th, when we were plunged back into another UK lockdown, it became kind of heavily influenced by that and other things that were happening. And it kind of became a bit of a snapshot of the time, but is, I'd like to think anyway, ultimately a hopeful collection. So I'd like to read a few of the more hopeful ones this evening that will hopefully make you smile. So the first one was written on the 18th of January, and it's all about the joys of working from home, called Working from Home, What the Fuck? But it's a bit of a mouthful, so I just need to take a sip of water. Working from home, what the fuck? The loneliest minute of the day is the one after a Zoom call, when you click leave and wonder where the world went. But life rushes back in the room and reminds you it's not so bad. At least you don't have to wear a bra or brush your hair because your camera is always off now, which is lucky because you haven't seen your hairbrush in days. But your toothbrush you've used twice already, although you can't be sure if the first time was actually yesterday. Your favorite mug hates you because you never let it hang out in the cupboard anymore with all the other mugs. The fridge is your fuck buddy and you can't stop getting inside it. Your utility company sends you love letters, so you turn on every electrical appliance you own to celebrate. Your onesies are in a turf war, your makeup bag has separation anxiety, your iron has an injunction against you. Lunch is strawberry jelly and a Maris Piper potato, because that is all you have in the cupboard. And you wonder if you've inadvertently stumbled on a Blumenthal-esque gastronomic revelation and should begin a YouTube series on creative artisanal lockdown cuisine, but no, it tastes shit and you're just going mad. Or your colleagues are podcasts. You've developed a close working relationship with an artificial houseplant. The clocks tell lies. There is only one day of the week and it is today and it lasts for the rest of time. You stand outside your toilet, hopping up and down in desperation so your bladder can remember the good old days. You complain to your mate houseplant about the queue. You play spot the difference between morning and evening and lose every time because, damn it, they just look so similar. That box of After Eights from Christmas is still in the cellophane because you can't make it past 1959 without falling asleep on the sofa. You wake up at 22:07 with a horizon for a neck, stumble to bed, wake up later, certain this is the perfect time to begin the day and wander about in the dark, haunting your house. Post in incredulity, you look in the mirror and yep, you still look suitably horrific. And then, oh God, it's another meeting. You watch the clock at 8:59, that minute has forever inside it. Then for a half hour, voices are your wallpaper, are all around you. Inflections grow arms, give you a little cuddle until it's over and you are the loneliest minute of the day is the one after a Zoom call, when you click leave and wonder where the world went.
Wow.
So that's basically been my life for the last year. Doing slowly bonkers in my bedroom. The next one I wrote on the 8th of January. It's just a reminder to be mindful and just remember how special you are, really. It's called You Matter. The universe is thinking about you, tastes your name under its tongue, slams shots of your spirit, considers a big bang behind your back just to turn your head. You do not think yourself worthy of attention. The universe knows better, sorts your thoughts into a playlist and listens every time you sing yourself songs about all the things you did wrong yesterday. When two pieces of metal meet in space, they become one and remain that way forever, have no way of knowing they are not the same. It's called cold welding. The universe tries to do this with you. knows to show, not tell, so speaks in body language because it is universal. Nudges door frames against your shoulder, skirting boards against your toes, lifts curbs to trip you up, cups slipping from your fingers, finds all ways to throw its voice and show the code is not only for the road. Stop, look, listen, remember how precious you are, how delicate. These are the push notifications of the universe. Do not turn them off. Galaxies, planets, nebulas, space, all that matter needs you to pay attention and believe you matter. So it's just a heads up really, because I think it's easy to forget sometimes, I think. So as I say, the collection was written daily in January, and there were a couple of days where I wrote an extra one. So there are 33 poems in the book altogether. So it's quite hard to choose which ones to read this evening. This is my first time reading from the book as well. So I've tried to choose sort of positive and upbeat ones. The next one was written on the 21st, and it was written the day after the Joe Biden inauguration. So after seeing the inauguration poem, The Hill We Climb, recited, and just being blown away by it really. So this one's called To Amanda Gorman. Somehow you took a spoon, reached through the screen, across the sea, and stirred my soul. Now I can't help but hope your spoon is the beginning of the end for pitchforks. I would say your words cut like a knife, but they weren't weaponry. Instead, a wand you waved and gave the best black girl magic show I've seen, though this was no illusion. A friend told me today their son saw you on TV and wants to be just like you. My ribcage became a balloon. It was true magic. I imagine 1,000 black girls in living rooms, eyes bright as their melanin, seeing themselves reflected in the television screen. It means hope came dressed in a yellow coat. I read one day you will run from it. I might move to America just to cast a vote. Thank you. So I'm a bit conscious of time, so I'm going to try and get a few more, get as many in as I can. This next one is titled, If You Could Have a Thing This Year, What Would You Want? This year, I want to shine so bright, the sun needs shades to look down in my direction, and Cassiopeia hires me as a life coach. I want so many new experiences, my pockets overflow with difference. Then, when someone asks me if I have spare change, I can say yes and mean it. I want adventure before tea and my tea bags filled with happy. I want to store my niece's laughter in empty Marmite jars and taste joy every time I take the lid off. Nobody will ever say they hate Marmite again. In fact, hate won't even be a thing. I want hate to go extinct. In the distant future, it will wash up on the Jurassic coast, a shell of its former self, and a kid with twinkles for eyes will use it to decorate their sandcastle. I want everyone to swallow so much rainbow, Skittles ask them for advice. I want you to smile so wide, your dent wins a Nobel. I want our hearts to grow so big, the stars use our pulse rates to navigate their place in the heavens. I want all these things tomorrow. But if we are happy and healthy and here today, all my wishes just came true. Thank you. So I wrote that one. Thank you. I wrote that one just hoping for things for everyone that I care about, and fingers crossed, it seems like we might be coming to the end of things now. So I feel it feels better reading that one now that we seem to be in a better place now. So the next one is called To You Reader Part 1, but because I'm reading it to you guys, I'll change it and just say To You Audience Member. So this one is for you. Maybe we've never met, but you're watching this, so we probably get each other. Maybe your smile was a frown you found at a second shop and upcycled, or maybe It was self-assembly and it took a while to put together. Either way, it looks better than the designer one you see on the sort of people who would never pick up my book. Maybe some of your best moments were yesterday's, but you never let them tread on your todays, like letters to Santa, asking him to bring you tomorrow. Maybe wear a coat of mistakes that falls out of fashion sometimes, but you are trying to care less about trend. Maybe I self-doubt right off the rack, it's so easy to slip into. Maybe you love travel, but perfection is a city you never intend to visit and your passport is stamped with hell yes and fuck no. Maybe your phone gallery is a DeLorean, and when you hit 88, your eyelids become window ledges and tears teeter on the brink. Maybe you're still figuring out what you want to be when you grow up, but the only thing you're growing now is grey hair. Maybe you want to do that thing, but tell yourself you can't because so many other people are better at that thing, so the thing never gets done and it's a shame because you would slay at it. And nobody can do that thing the way you would do it. Maybe you think there isn't enough time left. Maybe you need a new watch. Thank you.
Woo! Awesome.
This next one is it's called Forces of Nature, and it was written on a day I was trying to be as positive as I could about what's happening. In 1665, during the bubonic plague pandemic, Isaac Newton discovered gravity. In 2021, maybe we've disproved it. Some moments in this pandemic, I feel myself floating away. Newton made his discovery being struck by the force of nature. I tell myself this to stay grounded. American fire ants protect themselves from floods, rafts of their bodies. When it seems they are all at sea, this is how they stay afloat. Flocks of birds lead and follow at the same time. No, they will go nowhere unless they work together. This is how they move forward. The Siberian salamander can remain frozen in ice for years, then thaw out and carry where it left off. This is how it survives. Change comes. We won't be stuck inside forever. Every day, I remember to feel the earth beneath my feet and tell myself it's enough to know the world is doing its work. Nature takes its course. Thank you.
Woo!
So I think I can fit in two more. This next one is, is actually to the writer Matt Haig, who I follow a lot online. A lot of his words really resonate with me. And I wrote this the day after I read something that he'd written that really kind of helped me through. So this one is called To Matt Haig. Every time I read your work, you outdo social distance. Reach into my mouth and take the words right out of it. You scunder, make of language, and remind me why I fell in love with pottery. I want to say thank you for sharing Nora. She is one of the best friends I made last year. There were moments when I came close to borrowing books from the Midnight Library, but that time you wrote of how to be an ocean, I did to try and let it all wash over me. Thank you. I don't know if you've read the Midnight Library, but it really kind of resonated with me last year and has got me through a lot. So that's kind of where that one came from. So this is my last poem. I wanted to end on an upbeat note and read something specifically for you. So this one is called I wrote it the day after the events on Capitol Hill in America, and was feeling a little bit, so it's a couple of days after we went into lockdown, it was the day after the events on Capitol Hill, and was feeling a little bit low. So this was just a reminder to myself, really. So it's called Reasons to be Cheerful. Flamingos exist. They are out there in the world. Peanut butter Marmite is an actual thing. Sometimes Piers Morgan is asleep. Smiles are free and spread faster than any virus. A hummingbird's heart beats up to 1,260 times per minute. Now imagine that hummingbird falls in love. No matter what number is printed on the label of your outfit, you are the exact size and shape of enough. The world is full of drag queens, wicked beauty. Laughter is in your soul. Long before you talked, you laughed like it was the only reason to live. There's no frown that can't be fixed with a secret kitchen boogie. Hope happens. So does life. And Camembert, you are here. Someone somewhere is having the best moment of their life right now. And that person is me, because you are here this evening. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, girl.
Thank you for having me.
Amazing.
Yeah, thank you very much. Can I, can you please all unmute yourself, please? And we have a big hand for everybody that did open mic tonight. Thank you very much. And we have an enormous big hand for Tish Camp, please.
Eyelashes.
And we have another enormous big hand for Jemma Hathaway. Thank you very much.
Yay! Good girl.
Wow. Well, that's been I won't say nice. That's been a beautiful evening.
Thank you. Well done, Peter.
There have been some
Yes,
extraordinary...
Peter.
Yeah, and for Peter and Jason.
There's been some extraordinary words, much emotion, and some beautiful poetry, and some stuff that really touches you and really takes you places. You know, that's fabulous. I love Crafty Crows. It's great. I don't normally do this, so this is a bit of an extraordinary journey for me tonight. Not that I'm quite happy to be behind a microphone. I've done that lots in the past, but not this sort of thing. So you may notice I didn't actually read the poetry tonight, so you were saved. Anyway, I'm just going to say I'll DM you, Tish, and I'll DM you, Jemma, because we have some details to sort out. Thank you very much, both of you. Thank you very much, everybody. I've been Peter Lay. Thank you very much. Good night.
Bless you.
Good night. Good night.